Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. The name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mr. Soto. Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the code could have been redeemed, was it not? Okay, und der ist vor über 2 Monaten gestorben, ne? Ja, wahrscheinlich meinen Sie das gerade. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Today is 15th April, so 2 months ago today. Would have been 15th February, sir, that's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Ist nach seinem Tod gewesen? Yes, 15th February. It's precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. At 10:30 in the evening. It's precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Aber über welche jetzt von beiden? Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You're of course at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however... I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. Wenn da doch nur keine Waffe rumliegen würde, nicht wahr? It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? Weiß ich nicht. Das klingt gefährlich, aber ich denke, ich kann nichts falsch machen, also... Sollte ich es wagen? Na, wohl keine Wahl. Wir werden den Fall wohl noch klären müssen, einfach im Laufe der Zeit jetzt. You could shoot me at any moment. I had to give in, but what other choice do I really have here? Ha? Oh, das ist deine Waffe. Achso, das war gar nicht deine Waffe. Er hatte selbst eine Waffe dabei. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my whole life. Mr. Windybank, no, please. Alright, that's enough. Oh, hi Gregson. Inspector Gregson. Inspector. That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got it fast as we could. Now what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be. You're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Können Sie diesen Mann bitte mitnehmen? Das wäre vernünftig, glaube ich, in dieser Situation gerade. Right, you'll have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Pity? Mr. Windybank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end. If I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with your lot. Okay, es gibt also noch einen Fall, der gerade schon abläuft, ha? Oh Gott, so viel. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Oh! Hat es gerade weggedreht? He's getting away. Get after him, lads. Whistle the beat officer too. Sir. Ja, das war's dann mit ihm, ha? There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector. I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes. I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilled's down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Vielleicht war das damals ihre Bezahlung dafür, dass sie, ja, für ihn ausgesagt hat, ha? But anything belonging to Mr. McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence, ja, weil er ermordet wurde natürlich, da. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson. And we're summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Gut, erstmal wieder da raus. Ein bisschen Ruhe ist eingekehrt. Nur habe ich jetzt das Gefühl, dass wir mehr Fragen haben als vorher, was das Ganze angeht. See, that's why 8 grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Ja, aber woher hast du denn jetzt den Mantel? Willst du uns vielleicht mal davon erzählen? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that? Yeah, the deal let me keep it if I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it. No telling me to scarper. Always pays off giving people look like you ate him. Can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc of mine. The music box disc. But Mr. Windybank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long hard stare. I think not, Mr. Strut. We shan't enter Windybanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. Can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windybank. But that disc's mine! I had the ticket for this code and it was in this code's pocket. There should be something else and all. That's what the rotten cough said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Und vielleicht ist, ja, die andere Disc eigentlich wertvoller, huh? Und jetzt schon längst jemand anderes geklaut. Well then that's mine too, whatever it is. No, she's really pushing her luck. Mrs. Strahd, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, it's all your fault, Sholmes. So, what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Oh, wie nett du bist. I would be delighted to cook, I'm sure. And I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Jetzt, wo du sie wieder hast. Komm schon im an. Nota. Oh. Why would I come around to your place, eh? If you're just your damn mad or something? Sie wollte das annehmen. Ich weiß, dass sie das annehmen wollte eigentlich. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering. Perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. When she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for a potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. Should be glad of your company later too. Sorry, natürlich kommen wir. Hallo, wir wohnen da. I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, exciting. What is it? Shall have to wait and see, Mrs. Doe. Until later then. Okay. Was machen wir bis dahin jetzt? Gibt's noch irgendwas Spannendes zu sehen? Was ist das eigentlich für ein Ort? Ist der noch relevant? Ich meine, es ist halt geschlossen und wird vermietet, aber vielleicht ist da... Versteckt sich da drin jemand oder so. Ich weiß es ja nicht, It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh, I know. To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective. If I ever found myself before a court of law now, I will have not a one regret. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course. I guess. Wahrscheinlich. So. Ist irgendwo anders, wo ich hingehen kann? Eigentlich nicht wirklich, ne? Gibt's hier irgendwas Spannendes zu erleben? Können wir mit dir über irgendwas reden? Genau. Was sollen wir tun? Bitte. Can it really be that we've been in Great Britain for 2 months already? Ja, das hatten wir schon 3-mal, das Thema. Yes, it's gone by in a flash, hasn't it? And what an English gentleman you've... You trailed off there, Sister Sun. I'm so sorry. When I thought it through, I realized it's not at all true, actually. Oh, danke, danke. Simply don't feel that any Britishness has really rubbed off on you. Nor you, to be honest. Well, that's obviously because... Yes, I know, without a doubt. It's your kimono. It most certainly stands out. I do adore the attire of English ladies. It's quite delightful. But somehow, I just don't feel ready to abandon my Japanese dress just yet. Und wenn doch, kannst du es ja verkaufen. Du weißt ja, dass du einiges dafür bekommst, offensichtlich. I wonder how Sister Sun would look in Western clothes. That would be interesting to see. Auf jeden Fall. Aber gut, wollen wir jetzt vielleicht nochmal über das hier drüben reden? Wie wär's damit? Na, ist noch ein Häkchen dran, ne? Ja, schade. Das wird wohl nichts. Ich habe immer noch nicht gesagt, was ihr gerne tun wollt. Verdammt nochmal. Ja, dann werden wir wohl nach unten gehen. Uff. Hier hin. Hallo? Oh, die Seite haben wir noch gar nicht gesehen, oder? Ah, Susie and Runo. Come on in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always. I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Ich weiß es doch schon. Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news! Wow, seems overjoyed at the idea. Dabei hat sie doch deine Waffe geklaut. Can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Okay, I see. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. Und gefährlich, I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you Mr. Naruto? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Oh, warum sitzt er da so blöd? Holly, always been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. I'm back that you won't speak to me. Ist was mit deiner Violine? Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. As I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes. Holly does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Ja, und er ist das Kind. Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Ja, richtig. Can't really think of it. I wonder where her real parents are. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face? Oh, no, it's nothing. You know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes? You're wondering, am I right? How did you... Heh. Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. This girl is dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything, I won't mind. Na dann, mach ich mal, würde ich sagen. So, by Ginny, you mean Mrs. Strutt, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Einfach freust du dich zu sehr, dass sie zu Besuch kommt? Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends. Wirklich? Wirkte nicht so. What a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bump into her on the streets, she runs away as fast as she can. Ja, ihr seid wirklich die besten Freunde offensichtlich. Oh. And I chase after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make the whole rainbow. I suppose this means... Let Mr. Strutt keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Holly always reacts the same when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I gotta wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited. I just hope she does actually come. Ja, das hoffe ich auch. Wenn es so eine Enttäuschung nicht wahr. Also, warum wohnst du hier? Well, it has crossed my mind that, and where are your real parents? My mommy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Hätte man noch von selbst drauf kommen können. Mine passed away when I was born. And around the same time, my father, schon zur ähnlichen Zeit. Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh, wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes, I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' real partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look at the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up. And found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley. Who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me, so I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. I practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, I must have done. I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley said it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Ja, und besser früher als später oder nicht? Keine Ahnung. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There's some things I can just see. Especially lies. I always know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read his diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solves the case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Oh, I see. Ja, okay, ist eigentlich... Ist mir eigentlich auch schon aufgefallen, hat ja auch uns ziemlich schnell vergessen. The other day it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. You can say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson. Ist das nicht der Typ, den wir im ersten Fall verteidigt haben? I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see? That's what prompted me to study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris' father, who went to some distant land. And is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. Gibt es eine Verbindung? Gut, okay, haben wir es jetzt endlich mal erklärt. Ich dachte, das wäre halt schon offensichtlich gewesen, aber... Das Spiel hat es bisher noch für ein Geheimnis gehalten. So halb jedenfalls. Dr. John H. Wilson. Indeed. That's right, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yuma University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Sollen wir das sagen? Weiß sie das? Mrs. Sator. Yes. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. I think that would be for the best. Ist das so? Ich weiß ja nicht. Ich glaube, die Wahrheit könnte nicht schaden. Na gut. Ah, my dear fella, it's so good to see you. Ach, du bist ja gut drauf. Wie schön. Er sieht so ungewohnt ohne seine Kopfbedeckung aus. Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Ah. Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? Was ist das denn für eine Redewendung? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? Huh? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Hat er ein Problem mit seinem Gedächtnis? Also so ein ernsthaftes Problem mit seinem Gedächtnis? Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. Warte, woher hast du die? No, not another disc, Mr. Soto. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh, wirklich? Sah der nicht anders aus gerade? Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruto, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for deduction, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Bruno could be our go-to lawyer if we ever get caught. Das ist nicht was... Also mein Job, also so funktioniert das nicht. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting. She could write all our menacing crime notifications. Ah, calling cards also. Yes, I'd be delighted. I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Ich finde, das klingt nach Spaß. Vielleicht ist das der zweite Teil. Wir sind vielleicht gar kein Anwalt. The music box disc. I don't understand. How did the disc come to be in your possession? Also erstens natürlich das Blut weg. Aber hatte die nicht auch eine andere Farbe? War die nicht so golden ein bisschen? Thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. Dein Ernst? That's about caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the detective confiscated the disc. Ja, das ist eine andere Farbe, das sehe ich doch jetzt schon, auch wenn gerade der ganze Bildschirm natürlich gefärbt ist, aber ich sehe doch, dass es nicht Silber ist. I'll be taking that whatever it is of Mr. McGilded down to the yard. Thank you very much. Send it over. Oh, yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. Das hast du gesagt, ja, und? For the breeze of moments I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, yes you did, but I still don't understand. It was precisely at that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc onto a pair of bars, like this. Oh. Was? Und jetzt hast du sie neu gießen lassen, oder was? That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example, a simple press and its unique form is duplicate. Davon gehe ich nämlich aus gerade. Also meine erste Idee, wie man das nutzen könnte. I can enter anyone's property at will, never without heists or crows and enrichments. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. Und, weißt du's jetzt? Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. Ja, weil wir nicht das richtige Gerät dafür haben, nicht wahr? No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you didn't know, Bruno? Los, gib mir einen Infodump. Let's go. Oh Gott. Wird das auch wirklich relevant für den Fall? Warum sollte mir das sonst so ausführlich erklärt werden jetzt? Ich habe wirklich Angst vor diesem Fall. Mir werden so viele Sachen erklärt. Davon ausgehend, dass der Fall natürlich auch doppelt und dreifach so lang wie für die anderen Fälle. kann das auch wirklich alles relevant werden irgendwie. Ich weiß nur noch nicht wie. Inside the music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances plug the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music box to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs, such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an unsurmountable problem. Ja, wir wissen nicht von wo diese Disc kommt, aus welchem Land. As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another. You have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There's no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. I see. So that's why. Vielleicht müssen wir einfach herausfinden, was für eine Music Box McGilded hat. Wenn er nicht hunderte verschiedene hat, so reich wie er war. Naturally, it has the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. Ich meine, wer weiß, vielleicht ist es ein sehr experimentelles Lied. The results were equally unsatisfactory on this one. So, I'm presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's hardly for you. Always taking things too far. But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I should just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. Das können wir, glaube ich, nicht zulassen. What? Ist das wirklich deine einzige Lösung? Und das einzige Problem auch dahinter? Ich meine, da brauchst du nicht auch sehr viel Geld, um die ganzen Boxen zu kaufen überhaupt erst. Magnus McGilded, not a name I expect to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Mr. McGilded perished without an hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No, no, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. Der Fall da wohl auch nochmal relevant wird, also was genau dahinter das Motiv war, weil das wissen wir auch absolut noch gar nicht, was es mit dem Fall jetzt wirklich auf sich hatte. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. Viel Spaß euch beiden dann. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Da hinten. Let this be a lesson for you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Huh. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Winniebanks just said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mysteries lies dormant in my storeroom, where his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story, languishing in my Mr. Winniebank's storeroom, gathering dust. My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it. More secure than a bank's vault. Und warum bleibt es denn da? Warum hast du es denn da abgegeben? Gehört das einfach zu einem Fall, der noch gar nicht abgeschlossen ist? Weswegen du nicht willst, dass es an die Öffentlichkeit gelangt? Also die ganzen Details dazu, die sie vielleicht schon weiß und die vielleicht schon in dem Skript stehen? And what about your Stradivarius, Early? Was that safe and secure? Ich meine, ja, an sich schon. Well, there may be the occasional mix-up. Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should have to read it. Hm? Warum guckst du erschrocken? Ah! Solltest du den Namen noch nicht wissen? Der Name wurde noch nicht erwähnt, oder? Es kam mir gerade so bekannt vor. Kann aber sein, dass es aus dem Intro kommt, dass wir da den Namen gehört hatten. What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill that swept through the room? Hat das was mit dem, Telegramm zu tun? Susie, what did you just say? You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's because Mrs. Soto is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. Uh-huh. But Bruno, the Hound of the Baskervilles has never been published. What? Das weiß... Bist du dumm? Hast du nicht zugehört? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. Ja, weil der Fall wahrscheinlich nicht abgeschlossen ist. That's why he said that he'd keep it safe. Till it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see? So that's why the manuscript is at Winniebanks. Yet, how could Susie know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Komm schon, lass mich nicht so hängen mit dem Cliffhanger hier. Mr. Strahd. Willkommen. This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. Du bist sehr willkommen. Hör auf, Blödkopf. No, wait, Mr. Strahd. We've all been eagerly waiting your arrival. Vor allem Iris. Haven't we, Iris? Oh yes, just wait there, Ginny. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take no for an answer. Mendelssohn it is then. Ha! Und die Katze ist zurück. Hallo! Willst du auch mit essen? Willst du auch ein Mendelssohn? That evening, I prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mrs. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome. And Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Das ist ja großartig. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. Aber den großen Spaß darf ich natürlich nicht miterleben, ha? Natürlich nicht. Na gut. Wir haben eine Zusammenfassung bekommen, immerhin. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, our cooking was truly divine. And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, but I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Vielleicht solltest du das aber nicht tun. Naruto-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder? Ja, vielleicht wird es langsam mal Zeit dafür. It's about the telegram I received. Danke, endlich. One that arrived first thing in the morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. Huh? What? Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. That Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Okay, dann hat es also nichts mit dem Manuskript zu tun. Ja, keine Ahnung, woher sie davon wusste. Immer noch ein Mysterium, was jetzt auch noch offen bleibt. Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh no, that won't be necessary, Naruto-san. I've been summoned all alone. Alone? What an hour for? I have no idea. I suppose I should find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Das macht mir ein bisschen Sorgen. Vor allem, weil wir der Anwaltslehrling sind und sie ist nur unsere Assistentin. Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Haben wir denn sie alleine gerufen? Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Iris, hello again. Und du bist auch da. Ah, Gina too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. Vielleicht läuft es in Zukunft dann nicht mehr von dir davon. Das war doch schön. You know, I've learned so much today. Oh? What in particular? All those things Ginny showed us. Was it wonderful? Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened natural talent. I could earn a living from it. Vielleicht solltest du das lieber nicht tun. You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Wait, what? That's mine! Oh my, however did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Ours literally is a child genius. So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. Hast du nicht gerade extra Tee aufgesetzt? Also, Susato? So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Jenny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chance with a lawyer who'd leave us in a place like this. Yes, me too. Danke. It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. Ja, warum bloß? I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Ja, das denke ich mich auch. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Also, das Manuskript. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I've made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about really, but... Story you made up, is it? Is it, Iris? The manuscript? Or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but... My daddy was Holly's assistant once, his partner. They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And then he wrote all the details of every single case down, you see? In his diaries. So study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's the old man now then? He had to go away on urgent business to faraway land. And he'll be gone for a very long time. Ja, für eine sehr lange Zeit sogar. So I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it. I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Ja, das hatte ich mich auch gerade. Tatsächlich. Weiß nicht, ob wir das fragen sollten. Iris, it's not the Baskerville story. Take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts. That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow from the other cases, I mean. Oh, how? I don't really know. But it must be special in some way. Aber warum weißt du es nicht? Du hast es schon in dem, ja, Buch geschrieben. Because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Harley, he turned as white as a sheet. Achso, deswegen einfach nur, okay. That's the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris. But this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. Why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now, so please, don't ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windybank, isn't it? Yes. And I said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, does it? He's treating you like a child. It's mean, that's what it is. Keeping secrets like that. Sie ist ein Kind. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Huh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. Ja, ich meine, du willst ja auch noch nicht darüber reden, nicht wahr? Aus irgendeinem Grund. Ha, you're not too trusting for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. Komm schon, hör auf. What? Harley's lying to me? Nein, hör auf damit. Ganz lieber Typ, ganz lieber Typ. So, aber dann würde ich sagen, bevor wir jetzt noch die gute Gina fragen, was es vielleicht mit ihren Eltern auf sich hat, belassen wir es erstmal dabei. Wo bist du überhaupt? Ach, da hinten bist du. Ja, war eine schöne Folge. Wir sind immer noch nicht beim eigentlichen Fall angekommen, nicht wahr? Aber das macht es umso interessanter, sobald wir dann wirklich da rein starten. Es wurden ja schon einige interessante Sachen angesprochen. Und die werden dann wohl doch alle irgendwie relevant werden. Oh Gott. Na gut, lasst mir gerne einen Kommentar da und sehen wir uns heute beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis dahin. Ciao.